The year is 2018 and Kirby Star Allies was just released on the Nintendo Switch. Starting development on Kirby's 25th anniversary, director Shinya Kumazaki wanted this to be the ultimate celebration of Kirby as a franchise. Kumazaki felt that focusing on creating an intricate story would have hurt the focus on being a celebration as opposed to just another game in the franchise. Will this outlook hurt the game in the long run, or will this be the ultimate Kirby celebration? Let's find out. Dreamland was enjoying its usual peaceful spring breezes when all of a sudden a dark heart shard called a Jamba Heart piece falls down to Dreamland, corrupting all of those who come in contact with it, including Meta Knight and King Dedede. King Dedede goes back to his old ways and orders his Waddle Dees to steal all of the food in Dreamland. Kirby, being sick of this shit, goes to stop Dedede. When he encounters King Dedede, he seems to be powered up by something because halfway through the fight Whoa. Ooga. After defeating him, Kirby notices the Jamba Heart piece that flies out of him, returning him to normal. Kirby follows the heart as it flies away to see what is going on, and, after an encounter with Meta Knight, he finds a giant spaceship flying over Popstar called the Gym Bastion. Kirby continues on his adventure, finding Jamba Heart pieces when he encounters the Mage Sisters, Francisca, Flamberger, and Zanparzan. They reveal that they were looking to put the Jamba Heart back together to help their leader, Lord Highness, to revive their Dark Lord. Kirby follows the Gym Bastion all throughout space where he finally catches up to Lord Highness and the Mage Sisters. Lord Highness confronts Kirby and tries to restore the dark energy within the Jamba Heart at the same time. In a move of desperation, Lord Highness throws the Mage Sisters as well as himself into the Jamba Heart so that their Dark Lord can finally be awakened. Insert Void Termina, the Destroyer of Worlds. Kirby and his friends try with all their might, and they defeat the Destroyer of Worlds that is Void Termina, putting an end to him once and for all. That's where the story ended for a little bit, but then DLC happened. There isn't much to say about the events of Heroes from Another Dimension, but it does show a more uplifting ending for our villains. Sometime after the defeat of Void Termina, Lord Highness found a portal to another dimension. Going through that, Lord Highness found more Jamba Hearts to reinstate his goal. Unfortunately, along the way, it corrupted him to the point of complete and utter insanity. The Mage Sisters followed Lord Highness to the alternate dimension. When they arrive, they find Kirby and crew having defeated him. They look upon their master in sadness, remembering a day where all he wanted was to bring about a prosperous light throughout the land instead of errant destruction. The Mage Sisters decide to fight Kirby one last time, not separately this time, but all three at once. Once Kirby defeats them, they too are finished off. However, Kirby uses the power of the 120 friend hearts that he has collected and throws it onto the Mage Sisters and Lord Highness, reviving them and purifying them of the darkness that overtook them. Of course, you know Kirby. There's always a backstory to the villain. Long ago, there was a race of ancients that encountered a god named Void. Void created many mysterious oddities throughout the universe, so they wrote down the goings-on of Void in many books. One such book was known as the Book of Legends. The Book of Legends found its way into the hands of Lord Highness. Lord Highness's clan faced some sort of cataclysm and, guided by the Book of Legends and visions of a light-filled paradise, Lord Highness wanted to revive the god Void in order to help bring back his clan. The legends say that when Void turned into a being of pure darkness and destruction, 4 ancient heroes used their 4 dream spears to trap Void within the Jamba Heart. Through Lord Highness's experiments with the Jamba Heart that he found from another dimension, he slowly but surely got consumed by its dark energy, switching his goals from wanting to bring back his clan to wanting to destroy the universe to avenge them. This is what led to the events of this game. Oh boy. Remember when we said that this wasn't going to be a complicated story? I love what this story does. Not only does it continue stuff that was set up in other Kirby titles, but it leaves a bunch of stuff open for future Kirby games to explore. This really does feel like the beginning of a new era for Kirby. For one thing, I would love to learn more about these 4 heroes that sealed away Void, what the connection between Void and Dark Matter is, and more importantly, the connections between Void and Kirby. I've seen many fan theories that state that Void is a being that exists in every dimension. When it was exposed to light, it became Kirby. When it was exposed to darkness, it became Zero, having Kirby and Zero be two sides of the same coin. I do want to say that I believe this theory, despite the fact that the director of the game discounted the ties to Kirby, saying that Void only had Kirby's face during the boss fight because it was the first face it saw when it was hatched. This pause screen, though, really seems to hint otherwise. The final battle at hand. Void takes his first steps towards a new age. In place of tyrannical rage, will he find nap time? Gentle breezes? Treats? He may even dream again. A dream of friends reunited. That is only scratching the surface of all of the cool stuff this story has done. With all of that in mind, Kirby Star Allies story gets my rating of an A+. Kirby Star Allies is your standard Kirby fare. You run, you jump, you eat, you copy. Nothing really much to it than that. The only real gimmick this game provides is that there is more of an emphasis on the partner system that was introduced in Kirby Superstar. Honestly, I think they improved it in a huge way and made it work for Star Allies rather than in Kirby Superstar. For one thing, they scaled up the health bar of all of the bosses in the game to make it so that it would be very difficult for Kirby to fight on his own. The other inclusion that I really like on the partner system is the ability to give each other stat buffs. For example, if you are Sword Kirby and you want a little extra oomph to your attacks, bam! Add some fire to that bad boy and you got yourself a flame sword. I also really like the Dream Friends system that this game employs. Jesus Christ, the fact that you can have characters like Marks and Dark Meta Knight on your team is really cool, and even though I wish there was a plot reason for them, it's just plain fun. Other than those little gameplay quirks, the game is very much just your standard Kirby game with nothing really else to offer. Trust me, the gameplay is good, but it leaves me wanting a little bit more pizzazz. The best analogy I can give for this game is that it is the Kirby Squeak Squad of the 2.5D quadrilogy. That being said, the shooting section that we got for the final boss with Void Termina was definitely an interesting change of pace from the rest of the game, and is definitely a much better shooting section than the Halberd section in Planet Robobot, which is really saying something. With all of that in mind, Kirby Star Allies gameplay gets my rating of a B. Just like with the gameplay of this game, there really isn't a whole lot to say about the presentation of this game. Once again, don't get me wrong. This game is absolutely beautiful, as is to be expected from the first Kirby Switch game. But unlike games like Kirby Triple Deluxe and Kirby Planet Robobot, there is nothing really that ties the game together theming-wise. It just feels like a standard Kirby game. The same could be said for the music. Most of the music in this game is just kinda what you'd expect from Kirby. Nothing really standout. That is, until the finale. Good God, the visuals and the music that they fire off when you fight Void Termina, Void Soul, and eventually just simply Void are breathtaking and really show how great the visuals on the Switch can be. The boss theme for Void is nothing short of beautiful. I just wish that the rest of the game had as banger visuals as the finale did. With all of that in mind, Kirby Star Allies presentation gets my rating of a B-. Here we go again with the hefty completion requirements. First, you must, of course, beat the story. Next, you must collect every rare puzzle piece for your celebration pictures. Interestingly enough, you do not need to finish every celebration picture in order to crown percent this game. Thank God, because I'd be grinding this game for hours if I had to do that, Jesus. Next, you must complete guest star ... Star Allies Go as one character. Just like in Helper to Hero and Kirby Superstar Ultra, thank God you only have to do it as one, because goddamn one playthrough essentially took me 2 hours, and look at how many characters there are. Next, you must get at least 3rd place on the 2 subgames Chop Champs and Star Slam Heroes on the hardest difficulty. Thank God you only have to get 3rd place, because Jesus Christ, the AI is perfect on the hardest difficulty. This game really knew how hard it was. Both of these subgames are pretty subpar. In Chop Champs, you have to chop down the tree as quick as you can without getting hit and stunned by bugs. In Star Slam Heroes, you have to hit your target as far as you possibly can, kinda like Megaton Punch from Kirby Superstar. I don't think I would ever play these sub-games ever again, and to be honest, I already kind of forgot they existed. Next, you must beat the Ultimate Choice on Soul Melter difficulty. The Ultimate Choice is essentially the arena of this game. At first, I thought this was pretty tough, but then I found out that Magolor has an incredibly broken sword move that absolutely obliterates bosses. If you try this mode, I'd say go in as Magolor with a second Magolor and 2 Chef Kawasaki's as your party. You'll be dishing out mad damage and be healing for days. Doing all of that nets you 100%, but to get that crown percent, you must complete the stuff that came with the update. You must complete Heroes of Another Dimension while collecting all 120 friend hearts. This mode is actually super fun and really makes you learn how to use every character in the game. Even collecting the friend hearts is a fun challenge that really isn't that hard to complete. If you miss a friend heart, you can just die and try again. This mode gives you so many lives that you really can just try as many times as you want. The last requirement to reach that sweet crown percent is to beat the Ultimate Choice on Soul Melter EX difficulty. This mode is pretty tough, even with the Magolor strategy that I mentioned earlier. Being persistent enough, and with a little bit of luck with how good of heals Chef Kawasaki gives you, you can definitely make your way through and beat Void pretty quickly. With that, you have now crown percented this game. Would I recommend it? Honestly, this has been the easiest Kirby game in a while to 100%. Considering Magolor is so good in the arenas, I really didn't have that much trouble with them. Thankfully, Void is the same fight as before. No surprise phases like with Queen Sectonia's Soul or Star Dream Soul OS. The sub-games though, not that fun. Won't take any more than 5 minutes to get 3rd place in both though. As for the main game and the extra game, they're pretty fun and satisfying to beat, especially to get that ending with the Mage Sisters and Lord Highness. I would absolutely recommend completing this game. Kirby Star Allies is definitely a good Kirby game, but I don't think I'd call it great. Trust me, I do not think this game is bad at all. There is nothing inherently wrong with this game, but it does leave a little bit to be desired. With a great story, gameplay that is what you would expect of the Kirby Standard, and with Kirby Standard presentation and a completion that's really fun, Kirby Star Allies still deserves its ranks above some of the best Kirby games. With all of that in mind, Kirby Star Allies gets my overall rating of a B+. A solid B+. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the new format of the retrospectives. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. All the social media are in the description below, so check them out as well. We also got merch in the description. Next week, we'll be looking at the next Kirby game in the lineup, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn. But if you're too impatient to wait a week, you can become a channel member and watch it right now. I'm Bottles, and I bid you, my well-esteemed guests, adieu.